So our jargon term for today, and this is one that I specifically wanted because a couple of weeks ago I tripped up on what it actually stood for. So we're going back over it, right? Okay, DTT. Now this is not DDT. This is not a bug spray, right? That's where my head goes. So when people are talking about DTT, perhaps as a teaching tool and you're going, what is that again? Okay, DTT, our actual definition, it stands for Discrete Trial Teaching or Training. It focuses on a single cycle of a behaviorally based instruction routine. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do Jargon of the Day, because I don't know what that means. Even now, so many years later, What you say? What you talking about, Willis? All right, let's look at our working definition. DTT, teaching one targeted behavior at a time. Okay, DTT is a really effective way of teaching something when you're having difficulty learning it, when the learner is having a hard time grasping it, because what it does is it pares it down into one tiny little moment at a time. And it isolates that moment and allows you to teach it in a very clean way in which something happens, the targeted behavior is done, and then there is reinforcement immediately. We know that this is a very effective way of beginning to teach something. And when you see all the videotapes of kids who are sitting at a table and the person is saying, touch this, do this, that is DTT. It's a very pure moment. It looks weird. It looks foreign. It looks like nothing from real life. And for a lot of us, I'm a former teacher, but a lot of us, the parent in me looks at it and goes, that's not going to help. That's not going to be useful, except that it is. If it is step one of a multi-step process. And I think that's the thing that's really important to remember, that when you see kids sitting at a table and somebody puts down a card and says, touch car, and the child touches the car and they go, good job. And then they go, they move the cards around and they go, touch car. And the child touches it again. All of us go, oh, it's like an allergic reaction, right? That's not what I want for my child with autism. Except that you're seeing steps 1 through 7. You're not seeing 7 through 358, which get you to the point where your child goes, hey, can I have the car keys? Right? And I'm serious that is, the progression over a series of years. So I want you to know what DTT is, but I want you to know how effective it is at beginning to teach something. If you think about in your life right now, is there something that you would really like to do that maybe you tried to learn how to do and you couldn't do it? I mean, immediately what comes to mind is that I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar, and it's really difficult for me. And I'm kind of mad at myself that there were several other times in my life that I wanted to learn to play the guitar and I started. Now, I'm not alone, right? There are many people who said, oh yes, I want to learn how to play the guitar, or I want to learn Spanish, or I want to, fill in the blank. What is it? I want to learn how to knit. What is it that we abandon along the way? And part of the reason why we abandoned it along the way was we couldn't get good enough at it in order to get a reward to hang in there through the tough part, right? Well, that's true for a lot of our individuals who are on the autism spectrum. Maybe the skill is learning how to have a conversation, and it's really difficult for them. What DTT does is it pares it down to one little moment, allows you to get good at it, and allows you to get a reinforcer for it before you move on to the next step. Let's be honest, if every time I played a G chord, somebody gave me a spoonful of butter pecan ice cream, I probably would have hung in when I was 7 years old. I probably would hang in now, right? Now, for DTT, what we're doing, it's not butter pecan ice cream. We're finding something, it might be tickles. It might be an edible that we're doing to encourage the individual to hang in there through the tough stuff. And we're building up this rapport of, you can do this. This is not hard. And when you do it, it's rewarding. It's very, very effective. I swear to you as a teacher, if there's ever something that you see as difficult for somebody to learn, if you pare it down and create a DTT model in which you start the lesson, you will be able to move quickly into other things, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the week. But DTT, Discrete Trial Training or Teaching, it is very effective at beginning to teach any skill. Very effective. But don't think it's the entire process. That's all I beg of you. But don't be afraid of DTT with our kids either, because it is amazing. If you have a child who's having difficulty learning something, definitely give it a try.